The message that I was requested to give in a few words is this: that today's need is, after so many years, the need is to find a spiritual consolation in life, in our pilgrimage towards life itself. There was a famous book I had read by James Hillman. He's America's most fertile thinker. And he suggests that it is our inferiorities that build up our souls. His view, not our strength, but our weaknesses, that gives us our depth and character. Yet strangely, but true, most of us are rendered superficial by our successes than by our failures. More of us are torn apart by our strength than by our weaknesses. A renowned psychologist, Kazimierz Dąbrowski, a Polish, gave a lecture on positive disintegration. His theory: we grow by falling apart. My objection was raised: can't we grow by being built up by our own successes just as easily as we can through our failures? The answer: theoretically, yes, we can grow through our successes. But in the last 40 years I have practiced psychology, I have rarely seen it. Almost always deep growth takes place through the opposite. Once our death, our losses, our dark night of the soul. The bottom line: learning to listen to our infirmities is the spiritual exercises. St. Ignatius in the spiritual exercises requested all Jesuits always to do 2 examinations of conscience daily. Thus, example, the least gifted member of the family, the one the family most publicly is ashamed of, more so than the most gifted members who enriches the family. I repeat, in a family, the least gifted member of the family, the one the family is most publicly ashamed of, more so than the most gifted member enriches the family. Ask any family that has a handicapped member what they think has given them depth, compassion, and understanding. Christopher de Vinci, in his little masterpiece, The Power of the Powerless, a brother's legacy of love, the soul confronts from inferiority, it is weakness, limits of shame and powerlessness that brings depth into our souls, and thus our soul is shaped precisely by something quite different. Fears that I am not smart, not interesting enough, my background isn't good, my phobias, my timidities, inadequacies, the humiliation received at work, the breakup of marriage in my family, I am powerless to do anything about it. The insults and taunts I receive as a child at play, my drunken father, the abuses that I receive, these are what gives me the depth of my soul. If it is not these, are them in self any good? I repeat, if it is not that, these are in themselves not good. It is just that when we listen to them, we grow deep. So the idea is, by listening to what grows within us is the healing effect into our soul. They build our souls. They are to be listened, not buried as private or past shame. They are entries into the depth of the soul. Again, all these interactions we do in our life, all the minuses, much more than the plus, do an interaction into the depth of our soul. Daniel Berrigan, a social activist in the United States, a Jesuit, was asked to give a talk on God. How do we listen to God? Was the topic. He did not give any theological treatise. He said, I visit a boy from time to time who is deaf, who is mute, he is paralyzed, unable to react to in any way to anything around him. He just lies in the bed and is helpless, powerless. Dan Berrigan says, I go and sit by his side. Nothing is said and nothing seemingly is exchanged. I sit by his helplessness, and I know that in this powerlessness, God is speaking, and speaking in the only way that God can speak in this world, through our inferiorities, through our powerlessness, through our humiliation, through our shamefulness. He forges the depth of our soul. The voice of God lays hidden within.